Hello Internet, my name is Cliff. This video is my story installing and using the L-TWOO 12-speed disc group set. I got this group set from AliExpress. It costs about $390. This is a Chinese-made 12-speed disc brake Roadbike group set. And this is what it looks like. It feels very good when packaged in this kind of box. This is the shifter. It feels pretty nice. Both levers are made of carbon and have gold and silver letters. It uses the Campagnolo style shifting. Push this part to move to the lighter gear. It shifts 3 gears in one big push. And push this little ear to move to harder gear. This part is also multi-shift like a Campy. Overall, I think the feel is pretty good, very solid. The rear derailleur looks like this. It has some carbon fiber parts. However, the carbon is only on the outside. The front derailleur looks just like a normal front derailleur. And this is the brake caliper. I noticed it is a little strange in the picture, even before I bought it. Now that I have it in my hand, I can confirm that it's a little strange. This is actually a mountain bike style post mount. The road bike frame mount caliper should be shorter. You can see, compared to the 105, the L-TWOO one is longer. The package comes with a large bundle of adapters. I check the adapters before I start to build a bike. One of the included adapters works well. Now, let's check how much this group set weighs. In fact, this is not really a complete set. All that is included in this set is 2 shifters, 2 derailleurs, and 2 brakes. It's still missing a crankset, chain, cassette, and disc loaders. Let's compare the weight of this set to the previous generation of Shimano 105. The shifter, derailleurs, and brakes of Shimano 105 is 1268 grams. Now let's measure the weight of the L-TWOO kit. The shifters, derailleurs, and brakes is 1207 grams. The L-TWOO kit is a little lighter by 60 grams. Let's go ahead to install this group set. We will start with the shifter. The installation is very much the same as typical Shimano or SRAM. But because there is a small ear on it, it's harder to turn the wrench to the screw. I found that if I press down the small ear, it's easier to turn the screw. Next, we can install the brakes. This kit does not come with a brake rotor, so I bought this brake rotor for this build. I noticed this part is rather simple, because the distance between the brake pads are actually pretty wide. My bike frame is kind of simple to build. If your bike frame is harder to thread the cable through, I found the brake hose has a software design. The tip of the brake hose is somehow matching the design of the shifter cable. You can use a magnet to thread the shifter cable through the internal routing of the frame, and use the shifter cable to pull the brake hose through the frame. The hose connection should be relatively simple. It's pretty much the same as Shimano. I compared it, and the included parts are similar but not exactly the same. The ones above are Shimano's connection parts, and the ones below is the L-TWOO parts. My intuition is that the metal parts should be interchangeable. But this time, of course, I used the L-TWOO original parts to build. And I noticed the shifter and the hoses already have oil inside, so it should be ready to use as soon as it's connected. And yes, it works right away after I connect the hoses. However, I noticed the travel distance of the lever is a bit far. the lever goes pretty far back when pressed. Of course, the brake lever is not touching my handlebar yet, so I think there should be no problem in use. But I'm already very used to Shimano's brake lever that only need to be pressed a little to lock the brake. So I began to look for ways to shorten the stroke. I did not see any adjustment that I can make on the caliper, so I also tried add oil. However, according to my observation, there is already enough oil inside and there are no bubbles. There should be not much difference whether or not I add oil. And as expected, after adding oil, it was the same as before. And there is a small hole in the front of this brake lever. This is a reach adjuster. If you turn this, you can change the position of the brake lever. See, it is moving away from the handlebar. Now when braking, it's no longer too close to the handlebar. However, strictly speaking, reach and travel are actually two different things. But anyways, we will see how well it works later. Next, we will work on the shifting. The L-TWOO kit does not come with a cassette. I'm using a Shimano 105 12-speed cassette for this build. I think this is a reasonable choice for this build. First, it is easier to get a Shimano wheel. If you have an old 11-speed wheel, you can also use it with a 12-speed Shimano cassette. Also, I think the 105 cassette should be cheaper than the SRAM rival cassette. L-TWOO already have a 12-speed group before this one. Their shifting should be good since many people tried that already. I bought a new KMC chain for this build, but it is not yet arrived. So I use a 12-speed Shimano chain from my other bike for now. I think this should work very well, because now the crankset, the cassette and the chains are all Shimano. And it indeed works very well. I found the shifting is very accurate. All 12 speeds are accurate. They all go up and down without any problems. Each gear is very crisp and it is also easy to use. I would say the shifting is as good as Shimano 105 at least. I have been riding this bike several times during last week already. The first time I rode it, I feel that the brake was a little weaker. Shimano brakes usually have full power even it is used the first time. These brakes have to be pressed deeper to stop completely. Overall, a little weak, but not very bad. But after using it few times, after the disc and the brake pads gradually wear in, I noticed a significant increase in braking force. However, I personally prefer Shimano's short travel feel. See, you only need to move Shimano lever a little to stop the bike. I think this brake travel is at least 50% more than Shimano. But I later found out if I keep turning this screw, the distance between the brake pads will start to reduce too, and the stroke would have similar travel as Shimano ones. Only downside is the black lever has further reach now, but this kind of solves the problem. The performance of the shifting part is very good. It's very precise and crisp. It has a very positive mechanical feel. The shifting sound is kind of like a SRAM's old mechanical shifting, and I think the grip of this shifter are nicely shaped. Overall, the shifters on this bike are comfortable to hold, and the shifter look nice too. In summary, I think this group set works fine. The shifting is good. I would say it is almost as good as major brands. As for the hydraulic disc brakes, I would say Shimano ones still feels better, a little more refined I think. Alright, this is about it. This is my story of trying L2 Groupset. Please like and subscribe. Bye bye!